I was actually wrong for once. Biden picked the person I did not expect him to pick because it wouldn't be the smartest of picks. We might as well just get right into it. My name is Micah Curtis.
I'm Alex Baldwin, and I don't even know if I'm going to be able to take credit for right or wrong on this one.
Yeah. Welcome to Micah and The Hatman on politics. Live! I have to say, I think I picked a really good theme song for this podcast, but that's just me. Alright, so before we get started, I want to say thank you to our sleeveless army that is in the chat today. So, thank you for coming in. We had like 37 people-ish in the waiting room right at the time we started. That's pretty cool. So, hopefully more people will get the notifications soon. I have it set up that those who are in my Discord server do get that, but yeah. So also our donation goal for the week is we are going to subject the Hatman to black metal cringe. So yeah, that will
that'll be a thing.
That will be indeed a thing, and I will be laughing my ass off the entire time.
Speaking of laughing our asses off.
Yeah. So Kamala. This is
the dumb fucker, actually.
I cannot believe that the DNC thought that this was gonna be a good idea. I was shocked by this decision. I was like, what the fuck, really?
In a very strange roundabout and no, you're breaking the fucking rules. You cannot count that. I was right. Because I did say that the DNC wanted Kamala Harris to be president.
Yeah?
This is how they're gonna do it, isn't it?
Pretty much. Like, and like my whole thought was like, look, if Joe Biden wants a chance at winning the election, Kamala Harris is a bad decision, and I thought they wanted to win. I was wrong. Apparently they don't. Well, I think that we should get it started with this before we start like going into anything insanity. But real quick, Holy Ninja throws in a buck and says, so Biden can make Kamala Khan as his VP. Does her hair really smell good? If so, that's heresy to Muslims. Well, she's not Muslim.
No.
Kamala Harris is probably an atheist, I would think.
I have no fucking idea what she is.
But, yeah. The, Amit Reina in the chat said earlier is that Tulsi should have been the pick. If they wanted to win, that would have been a good pick. But, and then DNC lost the left. Well, yeah. Like, yep. And speaking of Tulsi, let's go ahead and bring the lovely senator up here, and our representative up here, and just listen to this.
I want to bring the conversation back to the broken criminal justice system that is disproportionately negatively impacting black and brown people all across this country today.
Oh, hold on one second. Damn thing froze on me.
Senator Harris says she's proud of her record as a prosecutor and that she'll be a prosecutor president, but I'm deeply concerned about this record. There are too many examples to cite, but she put over 1,500 people in jail for marijuana violations and then laughed about it when she was asked if she ever smoked marijuana. She blocked evidence. She blocked evidence that would have freed an innocent man from death row until the courts forced her to do so. She kept people in prison beyond their sentences to use them as cheap labor for the state of California. And she fought to keep cash bail system in place that impacts poor people in the worst kind of way.
Thank you, Congresswoman. Senator Harris, your response.
And needless to say, that basically destroyed Kamala Harris. And
that killed her campaign.
Yeah, her campaign was done at that point. And it wasn't long after, I think it was just a few weeks after she dropped out. You know, because there is no recovery from that. You know, she tries. The problem with Kamala Harris is she lies all the time, and she can never. She's never. Well, yeah, she just lies all the time. We'll just put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
There's no consistency with her, and
no, she jumps on popular trains.
Yeah, and 1 minute she'll try to say that she's a moderate. She's not. No. A former Obama speechwriter actually called that hilarious. John Favreau, oddly enough, said it. He said, and here's the quote. He said, "It's hilarious to me that she's being called in all this coverage a moderate, like Joe Biden has found a fellow moderate or centrist," Favreau said on an episode of his podcast, Pod Save America. He goes, "She supports something extremely close to Medicare for All, which Bernie Sanders acknowledged in his statement supporting her. She's for the Green New Deal. She has one of the most liberal records in the U.S. Senate. If you want to call her record in the Senate and her policies that she's supporting now centrist or moderate, great. If that's where the Overton window has moved, then congratulations to all the progressive activists, because you have fucking moved the shit out of that window that's supporting the Green New Deal, and basically Medicare for All is now moderate and centrist." So, yeah, needless to say, that's a whole lot of nonsense. Not the last one says, "I still can't believe she was a cop. Even when I see her in uniform, it looks like a Halloween costume." Well, the title card is photoshopped.
Yeah.
Because we need...
She was a DA.
Yeah, she was a district attorney. But during the primaries, she gained a nickname. Cop Mala.
Mm-hmm.
Because the radical left hates cops.
Mm-hmm.
And because she was a district attorney, they pounced on her for that. Which is funny because she holds those same radical positions that Favreau said. You know?
Well, that's the thing. She'll jump on these when it's politically convenient for her to.
Yeah.
Like she didn't jump on Green New Deal until she saw Ocasio-Cortez's own Green New Deal starting to pick up, and that's when she co-sponsored that legislation in the Senate. She didn't jump on fucking Medicare for All until it was politically convenient for her to do so.
Yeah.
She didn't jump on even defund the police until the rest of the Democratic Party started to really push for it. Yep. And keep in mind, this is someone whose job it was before going to Congress was working with the police. There's no way in hell that she would have voted to defund the police unless it was politically convenient for her to do so. So, no, she doesn't have any positions of her own. She just reads the room and goes, okay, that.
Yeah.
That will make me popular. I'll take that.
We talked about this during the primaries. The one thing that is consistent about Kamala Harris is she wants power.
Yes, absolutely.
She likes power. She likes to be in charge of things. She likes being a demagogue.
Mm-hmm.
And constantly demagogues. So, I mean, she's from California. What do you expect? But that's the thing. There is largely this perception, though, that when you look at the real Kamala Harris, you don't actually see a progressive. When you look at the real Kamala Harris, what you see is an opportunist. Ricky Joya throws in a buck and says, "Cop Mala is appropriate for people who can speak Spanish." Fair enough. I don't speak Spanish, so...
I do not either.
Yep.
I indulged in French, so that is my second language of choice.
Yep. So, when I look at someone like Kamala Harris, you know, basically she was... I think that the reason that the DNC picked her is they wanted to look progressive by having a biracial woman as the VP pick.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. They didn't think about her record. They didn't think about whether or not their base was actually going to like Kamala Harris or anything along those lines. They just picked somebody because of her skin color and gender, because that's what's progressive. And it is going to backfire. Because at the end of the day, that's not enough to elect someone. If it was, she would have beaten Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders. But the fact of the matter is, she's unlikable.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this woman is a cunt. She's a cunt. She's just a cunt. That's the only way I can describe her. She is one of the least likable human beings ever. This is the type of person who basically, like, is going to sit in her office smoking, laughing at all the poor people suffering and doing nothing.
Yeah,
she
much.
reminds me of what's the pig in Animal Farm? It was Napoleon.
Oh, shit.
Napoleon was the one that was the one that was supposed to be representative of Stalin. Yeah, so that she's closer to Napoleon. Mm-hmm. So that is her whole thing. She likes to sit in an office, get paid a lot of money, and basically laugh at other people's misfortunes because she doesn't have to deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
The Holy Ninja throws in a buck and says, DNC, we allowed America to go into chaos over systematic racism. Who would be the best choice for president? The one person who did systematic injustice. Yeah. And then...
You expect him to be consistent?
Yep. Okay. Ricky Joy explains with a dollar. He says, Mal equal bad, Mala equal bad, feminine. Bad cop. I get it. All right, cool. It's Spanglish,
Perfect.
but I can roll with it. But, yeah. I don't know. Here's the funny thing. I think that, Susan Rice, oddly enough, would have been the better pick, even though there's not much of a difference. Mm-hmm. Because Susan Rice at least has the whole thing of, I worked for Obama.
Did you see what the Final Four lineup was?
No.
It was Kamala Harris, and apparently her name is pronounced Kamala, but
Whatever.
I always pronounced it Kamala because Kamala Khan, but whatever. Elizabeth Warren, Gretchen Whitmer, the governor of fucking Michigan.
Oh, God.
That asshole. Yeah. And then Susan Rice. How in the hell they came up with that lineup is beyond me.
Talk about no good options.
No. None in the slightest. And it seems like the last couple months of protest kind of forced their hand into picking a black woman. Of course it was going to be a woman, but you know, why pick a white woman at this point?
Well, and the other thing about this is people on Twitter were like, "Oh, she's going to do great against Mike Pence in the VP debate." I'm like,
no.
Did you see
Absolutely
what
not.
happened to the last idiot? Like,
absolutely not. She'd lose her temper.
Yeah, she's going to lose her temper, and Pence is going to stay calm, and he's going to speak facts, because he's, unlike Kamala, he's able to stay calm under pressure. And then every time he nails her on something, she's going to do that nervous laugh. She's going to condescendingly look down at her notes and things along those lines, and she's going to be taken off guard constantly.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the thing. We already knew that if and or when Joe Biden debates Donald Trump, Joe Biden is going to get slaughtered. It's not going to be good.
It's not going to be close.
Yeah.
He'll get annihilated. He won't be able to have a single comeback.
Yeah.
Nothing.
There's nothing that he's going to have on him. And then this is also very bad because, again, Mike Pence is stable, stoic, and will speak the truth, you know, without fear. And the Kamala doesn't know what truth is.
No. Pence is calm. Pence doesn't fold when attacked. You cannot say the same for her.
No.
Not in the slightest. I mean, you just, like, that clip earlier that you played, just her expression the whole time. She's just like, fuck that bitch, fuck that bitch, fuck that bitch, fuck that bitch.
Yep, exactly.
Like, no. Mm-mm.
So, oh goodness.
Does this make you feel better about Trump's chances, though?
Yes.
So you think it's a certainty at this point that he'll get it?
I think that it's gonna depend on whether or not the DNC can still energize their base. And this is the reason that I thought that Harris was a bad pick. The first thing that I saw on woke Twitter was people were pissed.
Oh, yeah.
Because they picked Kamala. You want to know what that means? People are going to stay home.
They're going to stay home and they're going to vote green.
Yeah, or they're just not going to vote. You know?
It's funny.
Or they're going to vote for Kanye.
They could vote for fucking Kanye at this point. I've seen just personal feeds, so friends and friends of friends. Basically, the ones who are urging party unity in 2016 are now saying, no, fuck the DNC. Like, they're not going to get away with this. They need to learn a lesson.
Yeah.
So I do feel a little bit better about Trump's chances now, but I'll say it again. I've been saying it this whole time. It depends on how big the vote blue no matter who wave goes.
Yeah, I don't see it having very much power this time around. I really don't. I have a feeling that they've really shit the bed with this one.
Yeah.
Because like I said, like Joe Biden had that element of stability to him that can kind of work into the suburbs, but you know, when your VP is someone like Kamala Harris who nobody likes, it's just not good. Like,
yeah.
I think the only like person I can think of that would have been a worse choice than Kamala would have been Elizabeth Warren or Cory Booker.
Oh, good God. Yeah, they would have been terrible. I think Biden is also going to suffer from the same sort of syndrome that plagued McCain in 2008. Just the VP pick and people thinking, well, he's not going to make it in office. He's not going to make it a year, or he's going to die there, and then we're going to get stuck with the VP. So the VP is really the one who's running for president. And I assert again, this is who the DNC wants in the Oval Office. Biden is not going, if elected, God forbid, he is not going to make it very far into his term. This is who they want for president. This is essentially who you're going to be voting for, not Biden.
Well, that's some tinfoil hat, man. But let's say it like that. But then again, the VP pick is always the person that you want to be in charge in case the person that in charge is unable to lead.
Yeah.
You know. And, yeah, people look at the possibility if Kamala Harris was ever president, and that's a very scary proposition.
Mm-hmm.
You know, people do not want her as the leader of the country. She couldn't even lead California properly. But before we move on to the next topic, at least after this, maybe she can segue, like the Obamas did, into Hollywood after the failure of her campaign. In fact, maybe they'll remake Maniac Cop. Speaking of cops,
you're an asshole.
Damn right I am. But the one thing I'm gonna add real quick. I have here a couple slices of Hito pizza. For every 25 we get as well, to throw that in there, I'll put a little of this on it.
Is that hentai hot sauce you got there?
Yep. No, you're already suffering the blackmail. You don't need to add more to the pot.
Nope. No, I do not need to do that. But I do have Chick-fil-A here.
Yes. Which I can't have. So Chicago is in trouble, to say the least. I did an article on this for RT earlier in the week. And the how do I put this? Because there's so much there. The mayor, Lori Lightfoot, is inept and constantly feels the need to be progressive because she's a lesbian black woman. But the problem is that progressive policy and law enforcement don't see eye to eye. Because law enforcement needs stability. It needs, law. Law must be stable. Law must be a bedrock. You know, you can't have this constantly shifting, worrying about this demographic or that demographic. The bad guys need to be thrown in jail. That's it. It's not complicated. Now, the problem that we've seen in Chicago is, of course, Lightfoot's lack of leadership and willingness to curb rioting is losing her favor big time. And I mean, the most recent riot happened because of a shooting in Inglewood. And I wrote a fucking comic about Inglewood. Real quick, Tyler Preston put in there, do we all do the fuck you I was right dance? I haven't been this happy since I saw the commies cry when Teespring announced they're not selling Antifa merch. 4 more years of the God Emperor. Also, The Matrix is the most overrated movie on Earth. No? Matrix is far from the most overrated film on Earth. But anyway, back to this part. The issue that we're also running into with Chicago is that their DA doesn't want to enforce the law. So it was just released this week that Kim Foxx, who is the George Soros-backed DA of Chicago, has dropped 25,000 felony cases. 10,000 more than that of the previous administration. Many of which would have been tried beforehand. Some of these were like assault and shit like that. So basically she is letting violent people just go back on the streets.
Some of them were murders too, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. So...
Jesus.
Yeah. There's a level of corruption there. Not to mention, Kim Foxx is the one who let Jussie Smollett go. You know, French actor Jussie Smollett. But, let Smollett go after a call from one of the Obamas. Yeah. So, and it took a federal prosecutor to finally, possibly put Smollett behind bars. So... And then when Lightfoot finally says, yeah, Trump, you can come in and help us with the problem, do you want to know what they want him, which all she wants? Is the ATF to come in for gun control. Obviously, people did not take to that very well, myself included. So now, this was just announced. So this is from the Daily Wire, written by Emily Zanotti. Chicago police will deploy 1,000 officers to the city's central shopping district, Magnificent Mile, and into neighborhoods being targeted by rioters and looters in an effort to curb the violence plaguing local businesses. In a press conference held Thursday, Chicago's police superintendent David Brown said the city would add 1,000 more officer shifts over 3 days, Friday through Sunday, similar to a deployment the department undertook several weeks ago, sending 1,200 additional officers into the south and west side neighborhoods where gang violence had been on the upswing. About fucking time. And then Lori Lightfoot made a similar announcement in her own press conference on Friday, noting the Chicago Streets and Sanitation Bureau would also be involved in preventing looting, that police will use new and enhanced tactics to shut down caravans looking for opportunities to cause trouble. So, after all of this fucking pressure from the press and the citizens, now she's uncorking the police department.
Surprise, surprise.
Do you want to know what would have happened if a Republican was the mayor of Chicago? Those riots would have lasted about 20 minutes. Cops would have gone in and started chucking tear gas. Started chucking flashbangs. Get them away from those stores. Yeah. This is the thing about Chicago. And I put this in the article and I wanted to reiterate it here. Chicago needs to decide something. Do you want safety? Do you want property to be defended? Do you really want less violence in your communities? Or do you want chaos? Because here's the thing. The only thing that right now is going to happen in the short term that is going to make the city better is more cops. Because I lived there in the 90s. There was a lot of cops. A lot. And the crime rate wasn't as high as it is now. That's what's going to happen. Chicago PD, you're going to have to let them kick some ass. In the long term, there's a cultural shift that needs to happen in Chicago. There needs to be less of a desire to go, well, I can't play basketball or rap, so I'm going to go sell drugs. There needs to be, in the black community, there needs to be more of an emphasis on fatherhood. There needs to be more mentorship programs, which there has been an upswing in. People need to stop sleeping in on Sundays and going back to church, just like we used to. People are going to have to start giving a damn about the community instead of trying to suck it dry. There's a fatherlessness problem, there's a crime problem, there's a gang problem. People just have to start putting their foot down and saying no, or it's never gonna fucking change. Because sadly, the Saint of Inglewood is not real. It'd be great if he was. But
yeah, they could use him right about now.
And for Spudley saying in the chat, church will do nothing. Church will do everything.
Well, it depends on the church. I've been in very good churches and I've been in very bad churches.
Well, no, here's the thing about Chicago. It was a much more peaceful place when more people were going to church. It's the truth. The less people that have been going to church in that area, the more violent it's become. More kids also need to be told that there's nothing wrong with being a barber. There's nothing wrong with working in a factory. There's nothing wrong with being an engineer. There's, all this other stuff. Oddly enough, that's part of the reason why I'm not happy that comic books are dying off. You want to encourage somebody to be a soldier. Hey, look, Captain America. Hey, look, G.I. Joe. Positive role models who aren't fucking rappers or something. An engineer. Hey, kid, you want to be like Iron Man? Stuff like that. Because superheroes are big in the black community, and there's a reason that the progressives have tried to ruin it. There's a whole kettle of worms I could pull open with that shit, but I have run out of time. So finally, history has been made again.
Very good news. Can I say it?
Absolutely.
Good news, everyone.
There you go. All right. Asami Ryuji Yamazaki donated $1. It says, it's entertaining to me to defund the police in action. Everyone says demilitarize the police and give it to education, but they never explain how it's supposed to work. Well, giving it to education just seems to cause more fucking rioters. So, yeah. All right. Leaders in Israel and the United Arab Emirates have agreed to normalize relations between the two countries and pledged to take a number of steps to strengthen diplomatic relations, including exchanging embassies and ambassadors. The historic treaty is a result of negotiations brokered by President Donald Trump, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, and Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed, the Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi, and they concluded the peace negotiations in a phone call with the U.S. president on Thursday. So basically, Trump has taken a big step towards peace between an Arab nation and Israel. This is massive.
Would you call this his biggest foreign policy win so far?
This is certainly one of them.
I would hazard to say, yeah, this is the biggest foreign policy win that he's got. Because even Democrats like Chris Murphy are saying this is a good thing. Like when the Democrats can finally give Trump credit for something, Jesus Christ, he's done something great. And this is massive.
Oh, yeah. And Amit Rana brings in the chat, it's to curb the rise of Iran. Well, yeah, that's part of it.
Oh,
it's
yeah,
definitely
absolutely.
part of it. Because fuck Iran.
I mean,
like,
yeah.
But, yeah, just fuck them.
Fuck them.
So, whoop, wrong button. The, but more so than anything, it's symbolic of the ability to really start calming things in the region. You know, it wouldn't surprise me if next to Saudi Arabia. Now, Saudi Arabia and Israel have had sort of I guess the best way to put it is like a gentleman's agreement of fuck Iran.
Yeah. Yeah. The Saudis hate Iran.
Yeah. Because the Iranians want all the Saudis dead, and the Iranians also want all of the Jews dead. So, you know, it's a alliance of opportunity, basically.
Yeah.
So, with the Iranians, giving them less power in the region is a wise idea, you know? So, this is moving towards something that we never expected. I don't think anybody ever expected any peace in the Middle East anytime soon between any of these nations.
And this isn't going to be like a major peace, but it's a stepping stone, and a stepping stone that's desperately needed at this point.
Pretty much. So, what they put in here is that as part of the agreement, Israel has agreed to suspend declaring sovereignty over areas of the West Bank outlined in the January peace plan designated by the Trump administration. Instead, Israel will focus on expanding ties with other countries in the Arab and Muslim world, basically everybody but Palestine. Because here's the thing, and this is something that needs to be said, because the Palestine thing gets brought up a lot. Palestine's a terror state. And
yeah.
The Trump administration is the first administration to actually treat them like a terror state. And as such, they have been much more aggressive and backed Israel on much more aggressive statements. Real quick, we get a donation. 420 Gunny puts in, come on, load you bitch, $3 and says, with all the terrible leadership of the Democrats, you think there might be a big red wave coming in the next few years or sooner. It's possible. Fingers crossed. You know. Also, 420 Gunny, I don't know if you watched the last late night Micah stream on Sleeveless Comics channel. If any of you haven't subscribed to that channel yet, please do so. I did finally review Warcraft. So, just so you know. Osamu Ryuichi Yamazaki throws in another buck and says, the sad thing is most of the folks here in the States won't give him credit. They'll still find a way to put him down. They're all still on about those pictures with him and Epstein. Well, here's the thing. Like, Joe Biden tried to claim credit for this. And I'm like, no, Joe. No. Just no.
The audacity.
It's like, you were behind the Iran deal. Shut the fuck up.
The absolute fucking audacity.
Goodness. Hatman, what do you think of all this?
Again, I mean, it's a stepping stone to peace in the Middle East. I mean, you have to normalize relations with as many countries as possible, and some of those are going to be obviously long shots, like Iran having peace with fucking anybody. But I mean, you do what you got to do in the meantime, and if that means the Arabs and the Israelis are going to fucking put down their guns and shake hands, fuck it, do it.
Yeah.
Jesus God.
Oh goodness.
We've got 80 people watching this right now, and not even half of you have liked this, by the way. Steve,
Yeah.
you stupid motherfucker.
Come on, Steve. What the fuck is your problem?
What the fuck is your problem?
Jesus. Oh, you just sit around and watch the show. I don't know if I want to hit that like button. Okay,
Fuck
come
you,
on.
Steve. Fuck you, Steve. Oh, look, 79 now. Steve walked out. Fuck you, Steve. You son of a bitch. Can't even drop a like. Don't be like Steve, y'all.
Yeah,
Don't
Steve-
be like that asshole.
Steve is a fucking cunt. Like, seriously.
Steve is gonna vote for Kamala Harris.
Yeah. So if you will not, so don't be a Steve. Hit that like button. Seriously.
Fucking Steve.
Gojira says we need a new intern. We don't have an intern.
Oh, Steve disliked it. You asshole, Steve.
Fuck
You
Steve.
motherfucker.
But
Fuck you, Steve.
But no, I don't have an intern. I have yet to find a curvy redhead to be my intern yet. So yeah, we'll get there though. At some point, I'll.
Steve Shives. Jesus Christ! I hope not.
Oh, that'd be funny.
Fuck that Steve though.
That would be funny. Fucking Steve, man. You tell him, Steve Dave.
How did I know that you were going to say that?
Dude, I fucking love the Isk universe, so I mean, given how many times I make the 37 joke.
37. Well, that's the best one though. 37 and Your Mother's a Tracer are the best ones in my opinion. Oh man.
Oh goodness.
Steve. Stephanie. Now hold on. We don't say bad things about Stephanie.
Yeah, she's kind of cute.
Stephanie's all right.
Yeah. But yeah, sexy intern will have to happen at some point. Maybe once we get like a studio and stuff like that, we will hire a sexy intern.
That will be on the job description. Sexy intern.
Yes. Must have a thing for dudes who look like gorillas.
We want an intern, not a furry. Be very careful with that.
Fair point.
So
Okay.
Is it time for Q&A yet?
It is that time.
It's time for Q&A. All right, y'all.
So let me check the patrons Discord. 5-Star Golden God says, or wants to know, did either of us see the kill stream debate? Nope.
No.
No.
Don't watch Kill
But
Stream.
now the internet knows that Ethan Ralph has no dick.
Yes, it's true.
This man has
This
no
man
dick.
has no dick.
But no, like Styx Hexenhammer and James Alsop, like no. Why I would rather like hit my balls with a cow prod than listen to anything
Jesus
James
Christ.
Alsop has to say. That guy's a fucking idiot on top of being a white supremacist. Fuck him. So, nah.
Yeah,
I don't listen to.
I don't watch Killstream.
I look, if I want to listen to Spurgs, I go to Ozarts' channel. That's whenever I listen to Spurgs, and it's hilarious. I don't want to listen to Spurgs try to talk politics, because that's just annoying. Because then I get into this idea of, like, they have no fucking clue what they're saying, and then, yeah. But no, James also can sit upon a mountain of dicks and eat his way down, okay? So no, I don't watch that. Don't watch the kill stream, and yeah. I'm sorry, just the fact that Ethan Ralph put his own sex tape on the internet for everyone to see his micro-peen. He basically fucked himself over at that point. Nobody's gonna take him serious after this.
Oh no, and apparently it's possible revenge porn too.
Yep.
So,
back to jail, Ralph. Have fun.
oops. Here we go again.
Anyway, not the last one wants to know, do you see any major change in voting blocks this year compared to 2016? Aside from the slacktivists, I see Trump winning the same numbers as before. Yeah, that's what I would think. I just think that basically the Democrats aren't going to show up.
Yeah. Well, the progressive Dems are either going to not vote or vote green. It's going to be harder to retain them this time around. Because I think if someone posted a picture of, like, Lucy holding the football and Charlie Brown about to kick it, like, oh, the GOP are too dangerous this time around, so we have to stop them, and then we can go to progressive politics next time. And I'm like, that sums it up perfectly for them.
Mm-hmm.
That's absolutely perfect. So they're not buying it this time, and good. I mean, you vote for what you fucking believe in, not holding your nose the whole fucking time. That's bullshit.
Yeah. Talon Silverbane asks, for the political podcast, what is going on with the riots? Seems that all mention of George Floyd has been dropped. Most folks just want to ignore new evidence of the guy showing he was screaming, could not breathe long before the cops had the knee on his neck. He says, though, they are still shitheads for what they did. Agreed. So, what is what the Grom? Is that like a grommet?
What the
fuck is a grommet? But, is the point of the riots now? Who are they for, and what do they hope to get from this? Something systematic oppression, something systematic racism, something oh, just give me free shit already. That's basically it.
Again, this is why I tell y'all, read Antifa, read the fucking book. All this is right there. All the things that they're wanting, it's all right there in the book. This is basically an Antifa insurrection at this point. So
yeah.
No, there's. That's it.
Holy Ninja Toe wants to know, for politics, thoughts on John MacArthur reopening his church and suing California for preventing churches to be reopened in any capacity. He says in comparison, his church has been doing outdoor services for about a month. So they've been declared a necessary business by the federal government.
Mm-hmm.
And on top of that, many of these churches are taking at least precautions to try to, curb any spread.
Mm-hmm.
And there's consistently moments where the government is just hampering down on them just to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope he wins the lawsuit. Honestly.
Yeah, I hope so too. Did you see that thing, how a church met up in a Walmart for services?
Met up at a Walmart, met up in a casino. Like they're doing...
That's great.
Yeah.
I love that.
Oh, yeah.
I fucking love that.
Because we're at a point where the curve's already gone. And deaths are not increasing. Herd immunity is becoming a thing.
Mm-hmm.
So why the fuck can't we go on with at least a semi-normal life? You know?
Right.
Let's see here. Changus wants to know, what do you think it'll take for deep blue states like California to become red again? A lot of it is going to have to be continued failure of progressive policy.
I think it would take just a huge cultural shift because major cities, I mean, they've had left-wing policies in place for a while. They've failed. They've shown their failure, and yet people still vote for them. And I think it's just because they've been made to believe Republican bad, Democrat good,
Yeah.
no matter what. So I think it will take a massive cultural shift to change that. And I don't see it happening anytime soon.
There you go. Let's see here. I see Damos Z is typing something in the chat as well, so I'm waiting for him to finish.
There we go.
And he says here, thoughts on the Minnesota governor insulting our state's National Guard and citizens calling us crooks and 19-year-old lowlifes. Vote her out.
That's bullshit. It's bullshit.
Yep. All right. Time for the chat. Hatman, pick one.
Okay. This one. John Weitzel asks, is it stupid to mandate wearing a mask when alone at home in order to participate in a live stream or Zoom meeting? Who in the fuck is doing that?
I'm sorry, what?
Who's mandating wearing a mask? What?
No, so I can know what the fuck just happened. What was the question?
Is it stupid to mandate wearing a mask when alone at home in order to participate in a live stream or a Zoom meeting? What?
Do people not know that you can't transfer the virus through the internet? Like, do people not know that?
Yep, that one made me drink. Jesus Christ. That's dumb. That's dumb as shit.
Wait,
That's
no,
about as dumb as the story about the college that was making sure that students wear masks when they have sex with each other. Why? Why would you fucking say something like that? People are stupid.
Yeah. People are incredibly stupid. All right, what's next, Hatman?
All right, Miguel Barrera asks, so how long till the regressive left call Trump the Antichrist again after his peace deal?
5 minutes.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Crystal Hydra asks, if Trump wins re-election, do you think this ultra-woke PC bullshit will finally die, or will
Nope.
their zombie ideology remain unkillable and continue to destroy our culture? I don't think it's unkillable, but no, if he wins re-election, that's going to embolden them even more.
Yeah.
We've said that forever. It's not going away anytime soon.
A lot of you guys don't know how progressives fight.
Yeah.
And this is something that people really don't understand about the culture of war. There is no one thing that is going to be create victory. This is why we went as hard on the whole Gamergate thing as we did. And people tried to say, it's like, oh, well, you should give it the momentary wins. I'm like, but if you lose the war, it doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah.
And people don't seem to understand that. Well, I lost the war, but I got that one dude that one time. No one cares.
There's a difference between a Pyrrhic victory and then just a symbolic victory.
Yeah.
I would take a Pyrrhic victory over a symbolic victory any day.
Yeah, but back on the topic of what I was mentioning is that the here's how social justice warriors fight. They go home and they cry. And then they cry and they cry some more. and then they whine to their friends on their social media of choice, and then they take a day, they get up, and they say, what can I do to destroy this person? And then they continue over and over and over again. The problem is that the reason that progressives win is because of complacency. If you think that any one win is going to win the culture war, you are being silly. There is no nuke in the culture war. There just isn't.
No.
Because this is something a lot of people don't understand. We're dealing with a worldview. We're not dealing with, like the Zerg or something. We're dealing with a worldview. We're dealing with an idea, and it's very hard to kill an idea. You know, because ideas can be empowering. Ideas can change people. One of my favorite video games of all time is Planescape Torment, and I always felt that the right decision to the one question, what can change the nature of a man, is belief.
Mm.
If you believe in something,
Yeah.
it makes you strong. You know? 2250V says small victories are required to win the Grand War. Yes, that's why you have to keep winning.
Yeah.
You can't get complacent. That's my point. Is you sit there and you go, like somebody with the whole Comicsgate said, it's like, oh, we got the original Marvel heroes back. And they're being written by shitheads who are turning them into DNC pamphlets.
Mm-hmm.
That one little win meant nothing. Because people were complacent.
Yeah.
And people don't seem to understand that. That was something Breitbart understood. Is that one little win is not the end of the culture war. He talks in his book, Righteous Indignation, about some of the wins that he saw during the Clinton administration for the right.
This is Andrew Breitbart, not the website Breitbart.
Yes. Well, yeah.
Yeah, of course.
So, but Andrew always said you have to keep fighting. It is a war. That was his whole hashtag, was war. We are going to war. War is a long, drawn-out process with a lot of fights, small and large. And the war is not going to be over until one side goes bye-bye. So this idea that Donald Trump being reelected is going to win the culture war is just fucking wrong.
Yeah.
It's a win, but there's still things that need to change, especially on the micro level. And that's one thing a lot of people don't understand. It's not just it's not about, you know, the big victories. It's about the little victories that lead up to the big ones.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
You got to push on. You got to push on.
So hopefully that answers the question.
Let's see. So Brian Gilmartin asked a pretty good one. What would it take to stop the woke crowds constantly falsely calling people ists and phobes? I'm thinking they all need to be taken to court.
Yeah, well, we've said this for years, is people are going to have to start getting sued.
Yeah. And that works only some of the time, to be perfectly honest, because really that's the option that like celebrities or anyone with a large name or large following can do. But as far as like individuals, honestly, I'd say the best thing to do is just fucking ignore it, because it's a Kafka trap.
Either that or mock it. That's what I
that
did.
too.
And it seemed to work for me.
Oh. Yeah. Do not take the bait of the Kafka trap.
Yeah.
This is a good one. Melee Brawler 64 asks, why do so many people on the right have an issue with vote by mail if it's been done in 6 states since the 1980s? Well,
there's a reason it's only been done in 6 states since the 1980s.
it's it has a very large potential for abuse. And there's, I believe, a pending court case in Arizona still, or maybe it's been resolved by now. I don't know, about the last Senate election that got Kristen Sinema into office, because she got in after all the vote by mail ballots were counted. Like, she was trailing at the time, and then all of a sudden those come in and she's ahead, and there she goes, she wins. So it's the idea that someone can screw with them, and yeah, at that point, what are you going to do? I don't know how I feel about vote by mail. I think I'm a little bit concerned with it because you've got like the Postal Workers Union endorsing Biden.
Yeah.
And when shit like that happens, that kind of opens the door for tampering.
Yeah,
But at the
why would I
same
trust
time-
why would I trust the postal service after they become political?
Yeah. But at the same time, like I don't know how easy that would be given the circumstances. I'm admittedly rather uneducated on vote by mail, so I don't really have an answer for you as to whether or not I would consider it, safe or not. But I don't know. I don't think defunding the postal service is the answer to it, though. But that's a discussion for another time. That's a long-winded one.
Yeah.
And we've only got 3 minutes left.
Exactly. So let's
Um,
take one more question, then we'll call it there.
Will Geary asks, do you think legacy politicians will ever go away? Because another Kennedy is ruining my state.
You're going to need to You're going to need to impose term limits.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think dynasties are always going to be a thing because throughout human history they have been. But I say term limits are probably going to be the best way to keep political dynasties from gaining as much power. Like, how long was Ted Kennedy in the Senate for? Like 40, 50 years? That was ridiculous.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that's the best counter against the establishment of any of these family dynasties.
Oh, goodness. Why am I tired? I don't want to be tired. Tired is not fun. Alright, chat. It is that time. We need to get set up for the entertainment podcast.
Yep.
So, if you have a question that did not get answered during the course of the podcast, for this one, you're going to have to tag Hatman.
Yep, you have to tag me, overflow me, yo.
Oh, wait. Got a donation thing. Or did we? Did I just hit the notification twice? But anyway, stick around. If you enjoyed the podcast, hit the fucking like button. Don't be a Steve.
Don't be like Steve.
Yep.
Steve.
Yeah, well, and he just Yamazaki just asks about oh no, leaving Capcom. Yeah, we'll answer that during Q&A for entertainment. So we're gonna take off again. Overflow the Hatman, and we will be answering those questions this week, hopefully. But until next time, my name is Micah Curtis.
And I'm Alex Baldwin, and I'm going to take a bite of this Chick-fil-A sandwich.
Delicious. We'll see you guys in a few minutes. Dave's Vault.
Dave's Vault.